meeting some welcome people. Let me just shut the window, keep the draft out. Finally, I have some free time which coincides with some good weather. You can see blue skies. It's very pleasant. Pleasant enough to wear my ventilated jacket. So what I thought I'd have a quick chat about today is I thought I'd just wrap up a couple of things that have been going on over the last few months. First one is my sort of attempt at a scientific experiment with my clickbait video. Now, while I appreciate that I did wonder whether it might go and explode and go thousands of views and loads of outraged comments and abuse, but no. However, it didn't stop it becoming the 6th most viewed video on my channel. I think it's 6th. I've taken it down now, so if it's not 6th, I'll check it and correct that. But it wasn't just the number of views it got, it was the way it actually got them. That's got up to, I think when I last checked, was nearly 60 views. As I say, I do have videos that have got more views than that. But it was the way those views accumulated. They accumulated very quick, bearing in mind that that video's only been up at 2.5 weeks now, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. I've got videos on my channel that have been up for months, if not years, and have still not achieved that many views. True, I've got several videos on there that have accumulated quite a few more views than that. I think the highest scoring one at the moment is the Bonneville T120 test ride. So what can I draw from the results of that experiment, shall we say? Excuse me. Well, I think it does show that there are people out there looking for those type of videos, but then I think we already knew that. As I said in the video just before I put that one up, that, or maybe I said it in that particular video, that knowing something is not quite the same as actually seeing it happen. Because until you actually see it, you see the evidence, you don't actually know it, you just believe it. Something just bounced off the top of my crash helmet. So I suppose I could say that there was a sort of, for my own personal satisfaction, it's sort of kind of, yeah, maybe it wasn't worth it, I don't know, but you don't know these things until you try. But that will be the last we hear of that. And the other thing that we are going to hear the last of after I finish talking about it is my dental issues over the last few months. Now, I meant to look up the dates and elapsed time between various things over my dental problem, and you're probably all clicking away trying to find something else that's more interesting now, and I don't blame you. Excuse me. But I just quickly wanted to relate something that happened when I finally got to the dentist for the first stage of the root treatment for my problem tooth. I already knew it was going to be an hour's worth of sitting in the chair, or lying back in the chair, I should say. And as I've had root work before, and root, sound more like Groot. Root work before, I know it's not that big a deal. Yes, as I said, I'd rather not have to go through it, but I'd rather go through that than put up with the pain and discomfort of what's causing the problem. But anyway, so I knew I was going to be in the chair for about an hour. And when I'd had root canal work before, I don't think it took that long, but then it was a premolar, a smaller tooth that had to have the work before. This one was a 3-rooted molar. So, which I thought, well, that's okay, fair enough, that's why it takes so long. So, there we go, I'm in the chair. Dentist says, would you like a anaesthetic injection? And I think about that for a microsecond and go, yes please. Because I'm no hero. If there's even the remotest possibility of anything causing me pain, I'll take the anaesthetic, thank you very much. So put the anaesthetic in, and then he says to me, well, what we do now for these types of work is we put what's called I think they called it an oral dam or a dental shield or something like that. It's basically a piece of what looks like stretchy fabric with an aperture in the middle, and this aperture clamps around the tooth that is going to be worked on and basically just isolates the tooth from the rest of the mouth, so that when they're doing work and when they're about to clean it out and fill it, it doesn't get contaminated with saliva and stuff like that. Also stops the debris from the drilling work going into your mouth quite so much, and also the water from the drill. I do apologise if anybody out there is trying to watch this video and is cringing mightily because they don't like dental work or anything to do with dentists. I do apologise. So anyway, he puts this shield in my mouth, so basically my entire mouth is covered with this shield. Gets all the equipment ready, and away he goes. He starts drilling away at this tooth. Now this tooth has already had work on it, so it's got quite a bit of filling, and the most recent filling, he said, was new technology. It is very, very hard, and of course this was giving him issues when he's trying to drill it out. But anyway, after about 25 minutes he's got through all of that, and he's drilling down into the roots, and I don't feel a thing. I'm just feeling bored and, you know, having a bit of difficulty swallowing and all that sort of thing because this thing slapped over my mouth, but it's not that bad. So he gets all the drilling done, and he says, right, okay, what we're going to do now is going to irrigate all of the cavity that I've just drilled out right down into the roots. And basically what this does is it not only does it clear away all the debris and loose material from drilling the tooth, it also, because it is a mild bleach solution, it kills off any bacteria that are still residing in the root cavity in the tooth. So, okay, fine, fair enough. He gets this little syringe, the dental assistant fills it with this solution, and they screw on this little nozzle which has got a very fine directable tube, and he basically puts this tube into the cavity in the tooth, right down to the base of the root that he's drilled out, and proceeds to irrigate this cavity. And obviously, because it's such a fine tube, he's having to press quite hard on the plunger on the syringe. And he does the first syringe full, gives it back to the assistant, says, okay, another syringe full. Proceeds to irrigate the tooth, the inside of the tooth again. And carries on, does this another 3 or 4 times. He says, we have to do this quite a number of times in order to make sure we've got everything out. I think it seemed to be about 4 times per root. So it's he's got to about the 5th one, got it in, aimed into my tooth. He's pressing the plunger. Bearing in mind I'm lying flat on my back. I do have safety specs on, eye protection, and also this shield thing across my mouth. And he's pressing away on this plunger, and all of a sudden I hear this pop, and a load of fluid squirts all over my face. And if anybody starts sniggering, stop it, you're being very naughty. And despite me wearing these eye protection specs, because of where the source of the liquid was, it actually went under the specs. So basically I get a double eyeful of what thankfully is a very mild bleach solution. And because I'm lying on my back looking upwards, the solution pools into my eyes. So it's, we're not talking about a huge amount, but enough. And obviously because it's a mild bleach solution, it's irritant. You could have gone, you numpty. So, there we go, I'm lying there, eyes full of this bleach solution, and I suspect at this point the dentists are thinking, oh my god, I am getting sued over this. I mean, I'm not that sort of person. I'm sure if some people that you know, or maybe yourselves, I don't know, might have immediately taken that sort of circumstance as a think, right, I'm going to sue you because you just injured me in some way. But we basically got as much of the stuff rinsed out of my eyes as possible, and obviously had to continue on because I've got a half-treated tooth. It's basically just an empty shell at this point. And carried on, so I'm still lying there. I think my right eye took the brunt of the solution, so it's starting to feel quite sore and streaming at this point. So we carried on with the work. Oh, that's nice. Is that an old Morgan? Very nice. And got the roots filled with the permanent filling, but then what they do is they put the rest of the tooth is a temporary filling. Yeehaw! Sorry about that. Sudden rush of petrol to the carburetors. Wasn't my fault at all. He lied. So they proceeded to go ahead with the temporary filling, and a week later I was back in the chair again, having this temporary filling removed. No injection needed this time because the tooth is well and truly dead. I suppose if I'd insisted, I could have had an injection, but I knew it wasn't going to be a problem. So, there we are. The tooth is now fixed but dead. I'm now able to go through my day normally, eating normally, brushing my teeth normally. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and anyone else, is the end of that particular story, which shall not be mentioned again. So as I said right at the beginning, you stay there, you were creeping, weren't you? You were thinking about it. No way. Anyway, as I said right at the beginning, some free time and some nice weather, so just filled up the tank, lots of lovely go-go juice, which I've just splurged a whole lot on, accelerating like an idiot on that dual carriageway. So now we're coming out to a location that I have been past before, and on many of those occasions I thought to myself, when it's a nice sunny day I shall come out this way, come to this location and shoot a few seconds of nice countryside video. that is where I am now going. Oh, and I mustn't forget, I want to give a shout out to Kim and her husband Rob. Yes, I'm doing 30, for goodness sake. Kim and her husband Rob, who are, I'm not sure whether both of them are, or one of them is, one of my newest subscribers, so thank you very much for that, appreciate it. Maybe you'll, as others have found, you'll find these videos quite good for treating insomnia. Shouldn't have any trouble getting to sleep after watching a few minutes of one of these. I actually meant to put that shout out right at the beginning. Never mind. I'll put it in the description that there's a shout out. Well, I did tell Kim last time I saw her that I was going to do a shout out in my next video. Excuse me. There's a bike coming up behind me. He's obviously doing more than 30 miles an hour because I'm doing a little over myself, so he's probably doing nearer 40. Nearly there. Yes, that rider is pushing his luck a bit, I think. Overtaking on a very shady bend. It looks a bit damp and greasy to me. And I think we are here. Yes. Oh. Watch out, pheasant. Right, this looks very nice. My bike's not going to lean over too much. Should be okay. Okay. And it looks very nice, and up there on the hill is Hanukkah Windmill. And it looks like they've mounted the sweeps again. That's the sails if you're not familiar with windmill speak. Oh, that's nice when it goes quiet. Right. needed that other phone. Flipping heck. Okay. Had to interrupt the voice recording there for a brief time so I could shoot a piece of video for showing you good folks. Let's just get everything synced back up again. Some video and a few photos of my beautiful bike, my babe, backdropped by some beautiful countryside. keep all this stuff together and in sync. Should be able to. Nice to get some pictures from here as well, but up here there isn't anywhere safe to stop. Come along, people. That's a lovely day, but crumbs. Quiet moments there of just riding along. Rather lovely weather. I am hoping that it won't be too much longer before I'm able to do a video of an unboxing and an installation of something I've been trying to get on this bike for some time now. I think one of you very clever people did mention it quite some time ago now. I think, to be fair, I think I had said about how I wanted to get one of these things on this bike, but it's basically been a problem finding just the right item that fits all the requirements that I have. Thought I had found one the other day, but it was a bit more expensive than I wanted to pay. Isn't everything? and there were some issues with it, shall we say. I won't go into too much detail because even if you think you know what it is, it'll, tends to spoil the whole thing of an unboxing if everybody talks about what it is in advance. Oh yes, I just remembered one thing I was going to mention as well. Obviously the weather we've been having so far here in the UK has been, shall we say, very mixed. We've had a few odd days like this here and there, but a lot of the time it's been very rainy, windy, so I think it's basically delayed the start of what a lot of people would term the riding season. I know some of you guys are probably that sort of bike rider that rides all year round, whatever, so you don't really have a riding season, but let's call it the bike fun riding season rather than the necessity riding season. And sadly, we've already had, over the last week and a half, I think, at least two reports of motorcyclists, I don't know whether they were bikers or motorcyclists, so I'll just use the term motorcyclists, being killed in accidents. One of them was what's termed in the UK an SVA, single vehicle accident. In other words, it was just the biker. I can only assume that he went into a corner or bend too hot and just couldn't hold it and was severely injured in the resulting crash. So, but yes, two in the last week and a half, I think it was. We've only really just started people coming back out on their bikes after the winter. So, as I always say, please have fun, but be safe. I think I'll probably leave in that little bit of footage of that biker earlier on that overtook me while I was still in a 30 limit doing 30. He overtook me as we approached the national speed limit signs, and then proceeded to exceed the speed limit by quite a way, because I was already a few miles an hour over the limit and he was pulling away from me, and then he overtook a car what I would consider to be far too close to a blind bend. He may have just made it before the solid line, but I don't know. Excuse me. So if you are one of these motorcyclists that does lay your bike up over the winter, and you're just thinking about getting back out on it now, please take it easy. Even if your bike is in the most pristine, maintained condition, you will be a bit rusty. So please ease yourself back into the riding carefully. I know people always say that bikes can be repaired or replaced, but dead people can't. So as I say, please be careful. Here we are going up the Petworth Corkscrew. Hey. Oh, goodness me. Some more lovely countryside. think the next time I have free time on a nice day, I will come up to the top of Berry Hill and get some video of the view from up there. I know you've seen glimpses of it on as I've been riding over the hill. It's not the same as stopping and actually getting some video. Come along, Nexie. Right, and here we go up Berry Hill. Nice and smooth. Bearing in mind this is actually a 50 limit, this piece of road. I think it was Hippodrome saying about how he likes to get his scrape his pegs coming up here. Well, Mr. Hippodrome, if you're scraping your pegs coming up here, I think you're being very naughty as far as the speed is concerned. Naughty, naughty boy. God's sake, go on. Yep, that's looking good. I shall do it on a day when I come up here specifically for that purpose. I think my helmet camera and other camera batteries are running out now. Plus I will need to stop down here in the Whiteways car park and walk back up. There isn't anywhere to safely stop on this road. Which way are you going? You're going that way, good. Thank you. Goodbye. Back on the old standard roads now, so I'll take this chance to say thanks for taking a look. Hopefully be back with another video soon, if the weather plays along. I might be able to get out again this weekend, you never know. So say hi to Kim and Rob again. If you've got this far, well done. And catch up with you guys later. Cheerio for now. Bye.